Top of the morning to you. It is December 10th, roughly 8:15 in the morning. And you know what? Today is a good day to be alive. That's what I think anyway. It's foggy, it's cold, but it's warm in here, and that's something to be grateful for. So today, I want to talk about the Wim Hof method. If you haven't heard about that, then that probably sounds really weird to you. The Wim Hof method, what the hell is that? Well, Wim Hof is actually a person. He is from, I want to say Netherlands or Denmark or somewhere over in that region of the world. He lives in a place that's pretty dang cold, probably a little colder than it is here in Idaho. But Wim Hof is a legendary man. He has broken dozens, I believe, at least a few dozen world records. He climbed Mount Everest with no oxygen in shorts. He holds the world record for the furthest distance swam underwater under ice. I believe he holds world record for the longest time spent in ice water, all this stuff. And if you haven't heard of this guy, look him up. He's all over YouTube now. He's been on Joe Rogan a few times. He was just on Michaela Peterson's podcast with Jordan Peterson. And having those two minds meet was an incredible thing to watch. So seriously, check it out. The Wim Hof method is made up of three things, but the main two things are breathing exercises and exposing your body to cold water. And if you've ever jumped in cold water, taken a cold shower, most people have jumped in cold water. You know, as soon as you jump in, it takes your breath away. It forces you to breathe in a different way. Like you just don't even have a choice. You're just like, like you can't help it. And that is where Wim Hof discovered this breathing technique. And you don't have to jump in cold water to breathe like that. So I'm not going to get too far into the details because he's said it online a bazillion times and you should absolutely go check it out. But I want to tell you about one of my experiences with it. So here I was. The year was 2019. I believe it was March, and I was living in Vietnam, Hanoi to be exact. And every single morning at about 6:30 or 7 o'clock, I would walk to the office. I'd go into a private room, I'd lay on the floor, and I would do this Wim Hof method. And so it's 3 rounds of breathing. You take as deep a breaths as you can, and then you push it all out. And you do that like 30 times. And then on the 30th time, you hold. You exhale all the way, and you hold as long as you can. And it's quite an experience because when you're hyperventilating, when you're breathing in and out, you get kind of lightheaded and you get dizzy. And then when you exhale all the way and you hold your breath, you kind of like zone in. And sometimes like I would shake, sometimes like it's a pretty intense experience. And you do it 3 rounds, and every round you're able to hold your breath longer. I think when I was doing it for a few weeks in a row, I was holding my breath for like 1.5 to 2 minutes on the 3rd round. So I was doing this every single morning, and one particular morning stood out because I'm doing this breathing exercise and I'm holding my breath and I'm like starting to shake violently, and every single joint in my body, like my finger joints, my elbows, my knees, they all hurt extremely bad when I was holding my breath. It was so bizarre. It was like something I've never experienced in my life. It was completely whack. And, you know, it was a little bit on the 1st round, a little bit more on the 2nd round, and then the 3rd round was just full blown, like, I don't know, it was not good. It felt super weird. And by the time I was done with the 3rd round, I had a raging fever. It was insane. And I felt like dog shit. I just felt totally horrible. And I finished up and I drank some water and I'm sitting there and I just felt super sick. I was like, okay, I need to go home. So I walked back to the condo that I was staying at, and I took my temperature because there was a thermometer there, and my temperature was high. It was like 102 degrees or something like that. And I felt sick as a dog. It was really crazy. I went from 1 minute feeling totally normal, do the Wim Hof method, 30 minutes later, sick as a dog, raging fever, going to bed. And I spent the next 2 days, 48 hours in bed, sick as hell, debating whether or not I should go to the hospital because I was like, wow, I must have caught something. I must have like dengue fever or something crazy. And I did the Wim Hof method 3 times each day for those 2 days because I had read, I happened to be listening to his book, and he was saying that it boosts your immune system. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I better keep doing this. And so I kept doing it. And every time I did it, I would feel a little bit better. Not huge, but after the exercise, I would just feel a little bit better. And I was so sick. It was like a flu or something. And so that happened. That whole day was sick. The next whole day was sick. And then the following morning, so it would have been like, the third day, the morning, I was completely back to normal. Not sick at all, felt great. It was absolutely insane. And I can't say for sure what happened, but my theory is this. The Wim Hof method has scientifically proven to boost your immune system. It boosts the white blood cell count. It's also been proven to reduce inflammation and a lot of other things. And so my theory is that I was getting sick, and by doing this exercise in a really intense way, it just immediately kicked my immune system into high gear, and that's what caused that intense reaction. To this day, I still don't know. I haven't been doing it lately, but after seeing Wim Hof go on Jordan Peterson the other day, I'm 100% going to get back into it. In particular, the cold water part, because he was saying on this one, and this is something I haven't heard before, but we've got, I think it's like hundreds of thousands of kilometers of capillaries, of little blood vessels in our body, and every single little capillary blood vessel that comes out of that tract has a tiny little microscopic muscle that works to push the blood into the area where those cells are, to carry out toxins, to deliver nutrition. And what happens in our modern world is we're all wearing clothes all the time. Our skin's never exposed to really cold temperatures. So all those little tiny muscles just get weak, they get atrophied. And blood still needs to get everywhere. So since all these little tiny muscles are on vacation, it causes our heart to have to work in overtime to get blood everywhere it's needed. And it probably still doesn't reach everywhere it's needed completely, as well as it would if all these little capillaries were on duty. So he was saying in this most recent call with Peterson that the normal heart rate should be around 30 beats per minute, but the average is like 60 and above. So the average heart is working double time every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for your entire freaking life. Your heart is working double time. And that's why heart disease, heart strokes, heart attacks, all this stuff are the leading causes of death in the United States, in the Western world, I believe. So, gosh, knowing that, I've worn Fitbits and stuff. I know my average heart rate is around 65 beats per minute. So I'm gonna go jump in some cold water. I need to start taking some cold showers. He says it only takes like 3 weeks for all these little muscles to strengthen up and for you to see a really noticeable improvement. So I'm going to test this theory. I'm going to start wearing my Apple Watch again, get an average heart rate for like the next week, and then next week I'll start taking cold showers every day, and we'll see if I can't get that heart rate down by strengthening all these little muscles. So if you haven't heard of Wim Hof, or if you're interested in this, check him out. Throw him in Google, look him up on YouTube. There's a bazillion videos. The guy's incredible. He's got an app, a free app that will guide you through these exercises, teach you all about it. It's super simple. And I know he won't see this, but I have a message and a plea to Jordan Peterson. Jordan, you are such a valuable person, and you are needed right now more than any other time in history. And you're also incredibly unhealthy. And so if there's any chance that this Wim Hof method can help you, please, for the sake of everyone else and yourself, do it. Try it out. Do it for 2 months. See if you can get back to top health. See if you can nullify that long tradition of depression in your family. See if you can come back and help guide us through this era where there's really powerful forces pushing everybody away from responsibility. We need you to push everybody towards responsibility. Okay, with that said, thank you for tuning in. Be grateful for something today. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just a smile to someone walking by you, and I'll see you on the next one.